It's the Houston Texans. We're going to dive into what they did in this year's draft, headlined by Derek Stingley Jr. with that top 5 pick, followed up by Kenyon Green and Jalen Petrie. I mean, the Houston Texans really did a very good job, arguably the best in the NFL, best draft out of all the NFL teams. Aaron, what made you so in love with what Houston did in the draft?
Where do I start? I honestly don't even know where to start. This is a team that traded away their franchise quarterback. And anytime we talk about teams trading away a franchise quarterback, you're probably looking at a huge rebuild. And that's exactly what Houston is doing. They're rebuilding. It starts at the top. They didn't waste any time. They saw a player that can be a franchise cornerstone in their back end, and they got him at Derek Stingley Jr. This is a guy I talked about being arguably the best player in the draft when healthy. And I know he doesn't have all the experience in the world at LSU because of some injuries, and a lot of it's just based on his freshman tape. This dude in his workout just stands out. He pops off the tape. He is a playmaker. He is going to be a legit elite cornerback in the NFL. So they went and got him first. Then they kind of followed that up and they said, you know what? We're not done yet. We're going to go out and get one of the best offensive linemen in this draft, one of the more versatile offensive linemen in this draft, in Kenyon Green. And then perhaps my favorite pick, who AJ kind of told me about and kind of got me on board with the most, was Jalen Petrie, a very, very versatile defensive back who can add to that Derek Stingley pick and play multiple positions, nickel, corner, slot, safety, can come back and play around the line of scrimmage. He is going to be around the football, and he is going to be a difference maker on a defense that, let's be honest, has been atrocious for a number of years now. So I felt like they just addressed, they had so many holes that they can go out and get the best available player. And I will let AJ talk about those middle rounds where they killed it as well. Some of the players we talked about pre-draft, but I thought they went out, they got addressed need, but also got explosive playmakers at those positions. And I thought it was big.
Honestly, yeah, Jalen Petrie is one of my favorite picks from them at the timing because it showed that they were serious about what they were getting ready to do. They understand what they needed to enter. And after getting a Derek Stingley, you took a look at what you were lacking last season and forget about the surprising wins that they got over top-notch teams at great times. They understood they needed help on defense, and they went and got it. And talk about a balanced draft. Defense, offense, defense, offense, defense, offense. And you're getting needs everywhere you need to. I love the Christian Harris pick. I know he left a lot to be desired at Alabama, so to speak. But leaving a lot to be desired at Alabama is killing it damn near anywhere else. And the Houston Texans get this guy right up front. A guy who can get some pressure on the quarterback, who's mean, who's nasty, who can hit, and who likes to hit. So I really enjoyed that pick. I don't know if we have any Dameon Pierce B-roll, but that running back choice was a solid pick. After losing out on a Breece Hall by the Jets, who jumped in front of them, you go and get a Dameon Pierce from Florida, who I think had, I think it was 1,000 yards on like 400 carries, something like that. I definitely botched that stat. But either way, he had some serious production. It was around 5 yards per carry was the production he was putting up. So to come in and balance your draft the way they did, I don't think we talked about the Houston Texans draft enough. I mean, look at me. It was 6 A's in a row before I found a reason to give somebody a C. So all the way down. And I know, Vinny, you're just salivating about them picking John Mechie. So, if you want one more piece, yeah.
Well, I mean, you look at it, and obviously for me being the biased Alabama fan, I love seeing John Mechie, and then you follow that up with Christian Harris. But as a football analyst that we are in the position of, I mean, those are two great picks for a team that you look at. They had a ton of holes. I mean, this is a team that needed everything basically coming into the draft besides a handful of things. They end up getting they had the ability to take best position available at the time, and it'd be perfect for their team. John Mechie, best available at the time. Christian Harris, best available at the time. Dameon Pierce, best available at the time. And you look at that pick of the Dameon Pierce, you're like, they have so many running backs on that team of Rex Burkhead and Marlon Mack and the rest of the just washed away running backs. You now have someone who can come in, and if he struggles, it's okay. You have tons of running backs. But if he does good, you've now taken a shot. We've seen so many times running backs in the middle rounds become super. I mean, you look at like the Alvin Kamara's, and it's a position where it's easy. I don't want to say easy to find, but it's more likely you find a diamond in the rough at the running back position in the middle rounds than any other position, in my opinion. And that's what the Houston Texans could have here with a Dameon Pierce. He might be able to take that throne away from a Marlon Mack or a Rex Burkhead, who's going to have 34 points in fantasy in week 7 of the football season just to screw everyone over. But I mean, yeah, we talk about it, guys. This is the Houston Texans. They did a fantastic job in this draft, but I have one question. Comparing it, the New York Jets also had one of the best drafts in the NFL, and we've put these two teams, I feel like, are right up there as the two best drafts this year. Do you think Houston gets the edge, or would you still give it to the New York Jets? Because, I mean, the Jets didn't have that many picks, and they're very top-heavy. But then you have the Texans, who had more picks all around. Who gets the edge?
I think you're looking at a couple of different situations here. I lean towards the Jets because I'm going to go with the guys that could have basically drafted 3 top 10 players. And we talked about that being a Sauce Gardner, a Garrett Wilson, and then a Jermaine Johnson. I'm going to go with the fact that I believe those are 3 top 10 players in this draft, and you got those. So maybe the depth that Houston got was more impressive, but I also think the Jets are a little bit closer than Houston. Like I know Houston has some good pieces there, but I think the Jets are close to being a quality football team. I feel like I really like their coach. Now it's year 2 with the Zach Wilson. So they've already identified who they want to be their franchise quarterback. I think Houston still may be questioning Davis Mills, but they're going to give him a shot. So I really like what the Jets did there. I would lean New York, but again, we've talked about Seattle had a really good draft. Baltimore had a really good draft. Detroit, who we're going to talk about on our YouTube clips, had a really good draft. I still lean towards the Jets because anytime you can get 3 top 10 picks, yeah, give me that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Their draft went from not having the players last year and the injuries and the defense to being a team that we're talking about contending for their division. While Houston did a good job there at the beginning. Now, who knows? Maybe they put on a good enough show this season that they feel the need to go out in the offseason and fill a couple holes that they found this year. And then you look back on this draft, and that was the foundation that laid it. When you look at the Jets, and you talk about they had less picks, if you really look at the Jets and the Houston Texans, their draft stopped being good about the same spot. So it really kind of evened out. And with the Jets, the guys that they got come in immediate day one starters. And you can say that for the Houston Texans to about right after John Mechie.
Yeah. And I think, and this is, and us saying this, it really has we are not knocking what the Houston Texans did in this draft. Texans fans, you guys should be proud and very excited for what is to come in Houston. It's special. And you think about it too. They have all those picks. They still have more picks to come in the future years. If Davis Mills isn't your guy, you still have all those picks to be able to possibly land a star quarterback next year. And you have that talent. That's the thing. They really, that was one of the benefits of not going all in on a quarterback this year, is because you now have rounded out your team, and next year you can take a shot at your quarterback if Davis Mills doesn't pan out, which it's still possible that he's the guy in Houston. But be excited, Houston fans. You've got a good squad on the way, hopefully. Let's take a look at the overall results of our draft grades. The GPAs for these teams looks like this. The Tennessee Titans with the lowest at 2.79, which is still not, that is still passing. That is still a passing GPA. That I would know because it's pretty damn close to what I got at Full Sail to graduate. Then the Colts at 3.17. Then you got the Texans at 3.65. And the Jacksonville Jaguars at 3.35. I mean, that Texans grade, very, very high. Might be the highest.
It speaks to the depth. It speaks to the depth. I believe their first 5 or 6 picks, we all had high A's all the way to high B's as far as their grades. So they had a really, really deep draft. Really impressed with what they did. But like I said, to me, the winner of the division was still Jacksonville. I believe I had them pretty close side by side, but to me, Jacksonville, the top end of the draft, just was super impressive to me. And you know how I'm a big fan of Trayvon Walker, and I think he's going to be a game changer on that defensive side of the football for them.
I think that, so I'm looking back at the statistics here, and based on our GPAs, the Houston Texans are the highest graded team in our draft at that 3.65. They just edged out the Seattle Seahawks, who were at 3.52. So that is the highest grade that we have given out. That's also including the teams that are to be released on YouTube tomorrow, which you guys will have to be locked in the Sac City Pod on YouTube.